Originally, I was going to call this my first impressions video, but I've had enough time with the device to feel comfortable calling this a review. This is how I feel about the Moto G. It's a little bit lengthy, but I encourage you to stick around, hit the play button, and sit back and enjoy. And at the end of the video, please leave a comment. I'll get a notification on my phone saying that you left a comment, and I will do our best to get to a computer and reply. Thanks for watching. What's going on, YouTube? This is wwjoshdew, and this is a video that I am very, very, very excited to bring to you today. This is unlike any other phone I've ever reviewed. I have the Nexus 5. I have the Note 3. I have an HTC One, an S4, a Note 2. I have a lot of phones that are all very expensive off contract, ranging anywhere from $400 and then taxes to $760. Yeah, very, very expensive phones. This guy right here, you can get this for less than $200. You can get the 8 gig for like $179, and you can get the 16 gig for $199. And to someone that's looking into getting one of these, please do not get the 8 gig. Unless you're getting it for someone that's not going to install any apps at all. I mean, they're literally going to stick with just the apps that come on their phone. Please don't get the small one, because look, if I go to my settings and then I go to storage, you'll see that I have 12 gigs total, and I've got available 9 gigs, apps 1.53, and I don't even have that much on here, to be honest with you. I have just a couple pages of apps, and that's it. So 3.5 screens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 3 and less than a half. So I don't have that many apps on here. If you have an 8 gig device, you're not going to be able to install very many apps at all. So please, after I do this review, and I've told you my thoughts on the Moto G, if you go out and purchase one, please do not get an 8 gig unless you're buying it for maybe an older family member that just simply wants to make phone calls, text people, browse the web, watch YouTube videos, and maybe install 1 or 2 apps, because you're going to run out of space so quickly, and there's not a way to expand storage on this device and add more memory or more storage for more apps. So you're gonna regret it in the long run if you get an 8 gig and you're someone that uses your phone constantly and likes installing apps. So let's get started. This phone is less than $200. I am extremely, extremely happy with this purchase. This phone has been an absolute pleasure to work with. I played while washing dishes and doing things. I played Google Play Music. I had the $8 per month all access music thing because I signed up when it very first came out. So it's only $8 a month. And I played hours. I mean, like 2 or 3 hours worth of music. And my battery was not hardly down at all. And the 5 megapixel camera, I can't swear it has optical image stabilization, but when you open the camera app, you can feel something in the phone moving, just like you can on the HTC One. So I'm thinking that there is some kind of, let me just open up the camera app. Okay, I'm not sure, but I know that from test pictures that I've posted on Instagram, the camera on this thing is not bad at all. It shoots 720p with the front camera, and it shoots 720p from the back camera. Or at least I think it does, because in the camera settings, you drag this from the side here, and then you get access to like your volume in 16:9, turn the widescreen on and off. You can add a location to the photos. You can do the panorama, slow motion, and then the drag a bracket anywhere. So like you drag this little bracket right here, and then you focus on it, and you just simply tap to take a picture. So the camera on this thing is really good. I don't know of a way to change the settings to go to your gallery. You would just like swipe in from the right here, and that brings you to your gallery. But to get to your settings, you just swipe in from the left. I don't know how you would actually get to the settings to, well, there's the zoom. So that's pretty cool. But I know it does 720p front camera. I actually have this app called Camera KitKat, and it says that whoa, get off of my mug. Change the camera to the back camera. And then if I go to the settings here, and then I go here, it's the highest I can choose is 720p for the back camera. And it's the same thing for the front camera. So I'll go back to the front camera, and I'll try to point it away from my mug. And you can see how my camera is above my head. 720p is the front camera as well. So it's not bad at all. The quality is definitely not something to complain about. You're not spending $700-800 on a phone. That's your mindset has got to be that this phone is less than $200. That's off contract. One of my stepbrothers, his dad has an old phone from like the 90s or the early 2000s. One of those, $10, like you'd go spend $10 on a bar phone. And he was wanting to get an Android phone, but he didn't have the money to go out and get, a $4, $5, $6, $7, $800 phone. I was telling him about this phone. And he's like, I'm going to have to check that out. Less than $200. I got a $40 off coupon. My wife actually got it from a friend on Twitter that gave it to her. But, so I paid like $159 for the 16 gig. But anyways, this phone has been an absolute pleasure to work with. The battery life, this is my third day having this. I always have about 30 to 40% at the end of each day. So if I go to my gallery here for the screenshots, I took this last night. I had 2 hours and 13 minutes of screen on time. 12 hours and 40 minutes with 36% at the end of the night at 11:46 p.m. This one was the day before that. I was at 16 hours and 5 minutes with 1 hour and 46 minutes of screen on time. And I used the phone. As you can see, Google Play Music is in there. Instagram. I used the heck out of this phone. Sorry about the cut. My battery was telling me it was low. Luckily, I have 2 batteries for my Canon. Anyways, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, now there has been times when, like, say I get an email and it says this person added me on Google Plus. I'll click on their name. It'll open the Google Plus app, and then I'll add them to my YouTube circle, because anytime someone circles me, I do my very best to circle them back. That way I can stay connected with them. Anyways, sometimes there is a bit of lag. Like, you go to press the back button and it won't register for just a second. Literally like maybe 2 or 3 seconds. And then I guess it has to, like, because Google Plus, I don't know if you use Titanium Backup or any apps like that, or you clear your cache, but Google Plus uses an insane amount of cache. Like, it's just absurd. So I'm pretty sure it's just the fact that it's loading so much data that it takes a second. But that's the only app I've used where there's just the smallest hint of lag. I'll open up my battery widget here, and you can see that at 1%, it takes 12 minutes and 54 seconds. My charger's been unplugged for 3 hours. It takes, fully charged battery usually lasts 13 hours. Again, this is my 3rd or 4th day of having this phone. Battery's usually charged in 3 hours. These are the stats of over just a course of, 3 days or 4 days of my phone. The battery life on this thing is beyond my expectations. I really did not think it would last me a whole day, but it does. It's absolutely beautiful. The screen size is small, but it's not something you can't live with. Like, it's not that much smaller than the Nexus 5. So it's not tiny by any means. But when I go to, let me open up the Twitter app real quick. I'll open up just the stock one, and then I'll go to compose a new tweet. And see, the keyboard, my fingers are kind of big, and I have a little bit of a hard time pressing each one. But on here, each letter is roughly the size of my phone. So, like, John And then it's easier to type on this phone than this phone. But look, this doesn't even fit in the frame. See, look at that. It doesn't even fit in the frame. And that's just, it's absurdly huge. But the 720p screen looks really good. I'm not complaining at all. It's not, it's, the screen actually is HD and it looks nice. I'm having a hard time thinking about stuff because of the simple fact that this phone has just been an absolute pleasure to work with. Let's go to About Phone. And this is another thing right here. KitKat. It is running Android 4.4.2 KitKat. And this KitKat only requires 512 megabytes of RAM. It uses less resources than Jelly Bean did, or previous versions to Android 4.3 and below. So this phone really shines. I can't even talk. I've been using this phone primarily as my main device ever since the day I did the unboxing. In the unboxing, I took the SIM card, my T-Mobile SIM card out of my Nexus 5, and I put it in my Moto G, and it's been in there ever since. And from real-world uses like, well, it's powered off at the moment. I guess I could just turn it on. In real-world usage, like I was trying to say, I got interrupted, sorry. From opening apps that you would open on any device, you don't even notice a difference between one or the other. My SIM card's not in here, so I gotta turn the Wi-Fi on. So I'll go ahead and clear out all of the running apps on here. Alright, now I'll open up the Play Store and watch this. There's no... Look, it even opened it faster. Alright, there's no running apps on either phones. Let me open up the Chrome app. Dude, I'm totally blown away by this phone. I truly am. For less than $200, the speed is not slow by any means at all. You do not feel like, oh, I'm getting this phone, it's not going to be very slow. No, it's not going to have a 2.3 gigahertz Snapdragon 800 that the Note 3 and the Nexus 5 has. It's not going to be, crazy high benchmarking. But for everyday usage of opening up apps like the Chrome, the Play Store, Gmail, Google+, Dragonfly. Let me show you this, and then I'll end the video because I don't want it to be crazy long. Okay, so I'm just going to play for a little bit here, and look at the bottom right of the screen. I'm getting 60 frames per second, and I don't have it like on low graphics or anything like that. You can change that. You can have less textures and the game runs smoother. But it runs at a constant 60 frames per second, barely ever drooping down or dipping down below that. It's smooth. And I know this game doesn't require like a heavy, CPU or graphics card or anything like that, or GPU for your phone. But this phone has no problem running it. I remember when I first got this game back in my Evo 3D days, and it would do like 30 to 40 frames per second. And then on the Motorola Click, you would get like 8 to 15 frames per second. This Moto G, completely stock, unrooted, has no problem with this game. Let me see if I have it on here. Okay, cool. So I do have Dragonfly on here. Let me just show you. You won't, even that went to 58 just now. And this thing has a crazy fast processor in it. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, do not get this phone. Do not feel like you're picking from the bottom of the barrel. You're getting something that you're gonna hate. That it's just gonna hold you over until you can afford to get an $800 phone or a $700 phone. This phone has been I will say it again. This phone has been an absolute pleasure. I cannot even begin to express how happy I am with this purchase. The battery life is amazing. It's snappy. I've only app I've ran into issue with lag is Google Plus, and that's not even that's just every once in a while when I'm clicking on Gmail and it says like Carlos added me in Google Plus. I click on their picture, it opens the Google Plus app, and only then does it lag just a little bit sometimes for a couple seconds, and then it unfreezes and it doesn't do it for a while. So, and with Nexus Media Importer, you can actually take a flash drive with a micro USB OTG cable, and you can use Nexus Media Importer to take files or ROMs or Nandroid backups or anything from your USB flash drive and import it over to your phone or export. So Nexus Media Importer is definitely an app worth getting if you don't plan on rooting your device. That's all the time I have for today. I oh, I love this phone. I truly do. The battery life is great. The camera is very decent for a a less than $200 phone. It's not slow. You don't feel like you're buying something to hold you over until you can afford a better phone. If you get this phone thinking that, after just a couple days of using it, you will quickly go, I don't need another phone. This is all I need. I want to give a quick shout out to all of my Instagram followers that's actively, Metal571, he's always on there. Mate Jam 1, he's always on there. That's all it goes. After so long, your notifications, it dismisses older ones, so I can't go further than that. It's just a limitation of Instagram. I constantly miss comments because so many people like a post that it purges out the old ones. Oh, and don't install this game. You will hate yourself for it. Just don't install it. As you notice, it's not in my app drawer on here. Or is it? I can't remember if I put it on here. No, it's not on this phone, and it will not be on this phone. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. It's just a little click, but trust me, it goes a long way. And I know a lot of people are going to ask me what widget I'm using for my clock. I just discovered this app today. It is called Timely. It is a really cool alarm clock, stopwatch, timer. It's just a really cool app. It looks pretty, and I'm going to test it out and see if it's my new alarm clock app. But basically, in your widgets, there'll be this thing called Timely, and you just drag it onto your home screen, and then it's really small at first, but then with the stock launcher, you can drag it down and resize it to something smaller or bigger. So like, I believe this is what it is at first, just this little bitty clock. But I like to keep my home screen simple, so I drag it down and make it bigger. So that's Timely. It's on an alarm clock app with a pretty freaking awesome February 3rd, 2014. You can see, the only thing I wish is you could see like Wednesday or Monday or something like that, because I constantly find myself wondering what day of the week it is. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That's twitter.com/wwjoshdew and instagram.com/wwjoshdew. I'm also on Google+, Facebook, Vine. I have 2 other YouTube channels that I post videos to, and that's about it. In the description, there'll be a little thing that says show more. Please click that. It'll expand the description. You'll get to see all of the links to my Moto G unboxing, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, just everything will be in the description below. This is What Would Josh Do, and I'm out. I don't know what to say. I cannot believe that they're selling this phone for less than $200 and how amazing it is. I'm out.